What's up, y'all? I'm back for another video. I had to make this video. Today is the 30th anniversary of my favorite film of all time, Jurassic Park. Holy shit. Anyway, I figure it's not going to be a review. It's going to be more of just kind of discussing what it, did for me. Like, this is the film that started it all for me. Like, in terms of making me a film fan, this was like the first film that, like, in terms of that, I remember watching for the first time. It was this one. The amount of times I watched it, like, on pretty much every format. I watched it on VHS. I still have the VHS somewhere. On DVD, watched it on Blu-ray eventually, watched it online. When they started putting movies online, and then streaming services. So it's like I've watched it in every format. I mean, I'm gonna watch it probably after this video, because it's such a classic. I mean, it holds up. Like, the fact that, like, it's not even just the dinosaurs for me. It's those moments. It's the scale when you see that T-Rex for the first time. It breaks out of the fucking fence, or just even it before it even breaks out, like, eats the goat. Like, the goat's gone. They realize the goat's gone, and then you just hear its head raises. You see it swallow the goat, and then it breaks out. Like, yeah, that scene is so iconic. The amount of times I rewinded that scene, even to this day, I fucking rewind that scene. I have to, like, watch it a couple times. Like, it's just so good. Like, it hits me every fucking time I watch it. It's like, you can't top that. And how real it looked, and the right kind of lighting, and they got, like, the right amount of rain. Because some movies, they overly do it with the rain, and it just rains too much to where you can't see shit. And I felt like in this, they didn't do that. They actually lit it right. And it's just this small little, you have the gate and then the fucking road. It's like this small little stretch, and you just got the T-Rex breaking out. The kids are in fear. They got the right sound effects. To this day, to me, that Rex roar is the most iconic. Like, in terms of roars in film, that's the most iconic ones. The amount of times that's been fucking put and cloned and put in a lot of other shit, just because how iconic. It's memorable. When you hear that roar, you know what it's from. But, like, even the Velociraptor, that kitchen scene, like, the way it hits every time, because you got these kids hiding, and you don't, because, yeah, up until this point, we've somewhat seen the raptor, but not fully, not in full shot, because, a lot of it was, like, you saw its eye when it killed Muldoon, and actually, no, when it jumped on him, but you don't get a full-on fucking shot of it. You somewhat know what it looks like, but when you actually see it walk in, and then you see it's two of them, and how it looks, and why it's scary. I love the Rex, but what makes the Raptor scary is the Rex, at least there's that aspect. If you run inside, the Rex can't necessarily follow you inside. Granted, it can just try to destroy the building, but, whereas the Raptor can follow you inside, and it can open doors. They made that scene, the tension right amount of tension, and the right amount of time too. They did everything perfect with that movie. Just the music alone, like, every time the music cue, that first scene where you see the Brachiosaurus, every time hits, like, but I can I can understand at the time in theaters this being an amazing, like, for the people who saw this back in '93, just seeing that for the first time. You're fucking you're Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm, you're all those characters in that scene, seeing the Brachiosaurus. Like, that's the one thing I kind of wish I got to experience, was that, because you're basically those characters in the same moment. Like, what the fuck? Because we had dinosaur movies before, but the dinosaurs in this film were like, holy shit, like, that's game changing. We got a T-Rex that looks amazing. You got a Brachiosaurus that looks amazing. That, even to this day, in 2023, that film still looks amazing. Like, it's still, like, visually, like, looks good. It doesn't, like, fucking uh some films like even Jaws, like I love that film, but there are aspects where like, that's some shots in that like the shark doesn't look the greatest. But I still love the film. But this holds up, and like you could tell Steven Spielberg had really refined his craft by this point. And um John Hammond, like his character was great. It was one of those movies like I always cling to. Like that's the one. Like, and it's not just because I'm a dinosaur guy. I just love the story and like it has like a slight little bit of realism. Like you could kind of make that realistic and how that would actually turn out like that. You know, there would be a character like a Nedry that'd fuck it up. You know, and get too greedy and fucking uh like who get too greedy and just make a blind deal, end up fucking up the park and and just the different dinosaurs you got. Granted, the Dilophosaurus isn't like accurate because it had fucking frills. You know that did happen. It didn't spit acid, not acid, but like fucking toxic. It didn't do that, but it was still cool for the movie just to see something like that. The sick Triceratops looks really good. Like just those little scenes. And then the final act is like one of my favorite. The final acts is probably my favorite final act ever in a movie. Just you get from the raptor chase chasing the kids, you know, then they meet up back up with Alan and Ellie, and then they gotta. I love them climbing up the fucking, you know, just even up the fucking roof, the ceiling, through the pipes, and then you know them getting to the other side, and that's when we get the iconic wreck scene, and just that shot of the T-Rex after killing the raptors, the iconic roar. And the film ends with iconic music playing. It's just a perfect film for me. I will always cradle it for the rest of my life. Like it's the film that started it. So I figure I had to talk about it on the anniversary of 30th anniversary. I remember the fact that at least I got the opportunity when they re-released it in 2013 on the 20th anniversary. Because at the time, I think they had just announced they were going to do Jurassic World, the first one, but they didn't have it ready. So they're like, okay, we got to do something for the 20th anniversary. So they just re-released the first one. Granted, I didn't really like the whole 3D gimmick with it because that's like it didn't need 3D. It's not one of those films that the 3D make it didn't. Sorry about that. It doesn't make the 3D any better, but 3D doesn't make it any better. But I like besides that, just getting to see it in the theater, that wreck scene, even into at that time in 2013, I mean, unfortunately, I'll never get that feeling of what it was seeing it at that time because like always that scene, like you're the audience. The audience is Alan Grant when he sees the fucking brachius. Sorry about that shit. Um, fucking um but yeah, seeing that in the theater, just that movie, at least for once, the one time I got to see it was awesome. And it did hit different. Like that wreck scene breaking out hits different in the theater versus watching it. Even on my nice TV, it doesn't hit the same. It's like wow. Just seeing that scene, just for the one time I got to see it in theaters was great. So I just had to talk about what it means to me and why it matters to me. And really, because like I said, it made me the movie guy I am today, just in general, like that film alone when I was a little kid. And the toys I had, the amount of merch I bought from it since, I have, is just great. So, but sorry, I'm trying to rush it, but just people being loud. But tomorrow, I'll be doing my 89 list. It's going to be a little bit small. My number one is definitely going to be Batman 89. 89 was a good year. It just didn't have as. It's not like one of those years. Not like 87. Not every film could be a year could be in '87 when there's like a lot of shit coming out. So anyway, talk to y'all tomorrow. Cheers. Big happy anniversary to my favorite film of all time, Jurassic Park. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.